Welcome back to Fast Money. Shares of NVIDIA on the move after the company's latest earnings report. The call is underway, so let's get to Josh Lipton with the latest. Josh.
So, Melissa, remember heading into this print, that stock had come under some recent pressure, but it was still up more than 100% over the past 12 months, up about 200% since the low last March. In terms of results, beats on the bottom and the top for Q1. They're looking for about $5.3 billion. She was at $4.5 billion. Segments, gaming, $2.5 billion in the quarter. Data center, $1.9 billion. I checked in with Mitch Steves over at RBC, covers the name, notes Q4 margins expanded to 42%. Gaming, he called a blowout, and he talked about the contribution of cryptocurrency mining there. Data center in line. Guidance a bit ahead sequentially. Despite this run-up, Mitch is still arguing this one is a buy. Says it's the best pure play on gaming and AI. As you mentioned, the call is now underway. The CFO calling this a record quarter. Gaming business, she says, record revenue up 67% year over year. Gaming, she's arguing, now a part of our culture. The gaming business, she says, will stay on a strong trajectory. Talked about supply, though. She did say stronger demand globally has limited the availability of capacity and components, particularly in gaming. Melissa, back to you.
All right, Josh, thank you. Josh Lipton, we were just talking yesterday about how the bar was really high for NVIDIA to actually gain in the after hours on the back of even a strong report guy. And here we are up 1.4%.
Monster. I mean, listen, gaming's half the revenue now of the company. I mean, and even data center was, Josh said it was in line. I got it as slightly better. It doesn't really matter. Operating margins, gross margins, I should say, north of 65%, which came in line. Nothing not to like here. The naysayers will talk about valuation. The reality is they're in all the right places. So that 615 level, I think we traded up to the all-time high back in middle of this month, just a couple of weeks ago, actually. I think we take that out, and I think this continues to grind. I'm surprised. Listen, I thought Qualcomm would stop at 148. It obviously didn't. But I think if you're looking for a cheap play, that's it. And AMD is a name we've liked for a while. But the NVIDIA quarter is outstanding.
Yeah. Dan, your take?
Yeah. Not much more to add. I mean, it is outstanding. I think Tim mentioned this the other night when we were talking about Netflix, and it was one of the first big cap tech stocks to report. Huge beat, huge guidance. The stock gapped up to new all-time highs after being in a consolidation not too different than what NVIDIA's been in for the last few months or so, and it couldn't hold those gains. So the fact that it's only up about 1.5%, and I know it's aftermarket, it doesn't really lead me to believe that this is the sort of quarter where investors are going to break this thing out in a meaningful way. But it does give you the opportunity, to Kai's point, where if you do see it lower or further consolidate, it is probably a great candidate at some point for a big breakout.
If we are in a market, Tim, where investors are scrutinizing higher valuation stocks and there could be a bifurcation within semiconductors itself, do you think that a name like an NVIDIA loses out to the gain maybe of a more, quote unquote, value-oriented chip stock?
There is enormous bifurcation. So I think Guy mentioned a few of them. So, you can go to value territory or you can go to NVIDIA that's 92 times trailing. I'm surprised no one's brought up the other headlines, at least out of the tape here, which talk about a crypto mining card, which they expect to produce $50 million of revenue in fiscal Q1 of this coming year. That crypto mining was 100 to 300 million in revenues in the last quarter. So, these are reasons why this stock trades at a premium. I think we've also forgotten that the automotive sector has made a major comeback. Their automotive chip business was up 16%. So they're in all the areas that deserve the premium, and agree on the chart. This chart's done nothing since August, and I think it's something that is worth watching. And maybe people have seen relative value, but NVIDIA should trade at a premium. I don't see the premium coming out of it in the short to medium term. And if anything, I think you're buying weakness.
Yeah, the crypto kicker is really interesting because in the heyday of Bitcoin, Karen, as you remember, NVIDIA did go up very sharply on the expectation that mining would continue at the pace that it was going on at that time. And here we are. You can buy a MicroStrategy, you could buy a Square, or you can buy an NVIDIA.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, that was the old heyday, I guess. This is a new heyday.
New heyday, yeah.
A brand new heyday of yeah. Right. No, I remember. Then there was sort of the bust, and then that sort of went away as sort of an individual line item, kind of. But I think, there's other ways to play it. I wouldn't play Bitcoin through NVIDIA. That quarter was really tremendous, though. But to Dan's point, I mean, it's up a little bit more now, maybe not 2%. I mean, that's a really high bar. You've got to have a quarter like this you know, which was outstanding. I mean, just the magnitude of the revenue beat is so impressive. That's a high bar. That makes me, you know, hundreds of points ago I wouldn't have bought it, but it's a tremendous job, but it's a little scary.
All right.
I mean, they're on the high wire here.